Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, and today we're looking at some more Ultra League Premier Cup Go Battle League battles. Alright, quick heads up, if I sound funny, it's because I'm pretty sure there's a pimple on my tongue, and it's making it extremely painful to speak right now, but I have some amazing battles showcasing Shadow Machamp that I really wanted to share with you guys, so I'm going to muscle through the pain. Now, Shadow Machamp I showcased in some Great League battles maybe like a week or so ago, but in Ultra League, since it reaches a higher CP, so a higher level, it's got a little bit more bulk to it now, but it's still able to output that amazing damage that it was able to output in Great League. So I kind of tried to pair it around some Pokemon, Dragonite and Lapras. Lapras to add some bulk, Dragonite to add some coverage, but this isn't exactly the best team of three I recommend, and as we get into the battles you'll see why. But this set definitely showcases Shadow Machamp's abilities really well. So if you're excited for these battles, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, let's jump into the battles now. We'll be running this team with a Dragonite lead, Machamp in the back, and Lapras in the back, and depending on the situation, either one of those two could be the safe swaps. Dragonite will be running the quick move of Dragon Breath, charge moves of Dragon Claw and Hurricane. Lapras will be running Ice Shard as a quick move, Surf and Skull Bash as a charge move. I know there's been a big debate between Skull Bash Lapras or Ice Beam Lapras. Right now, I feel it more beneficial to run Skull Bash, especially because Skull Bash Lapras essentially counters Ice Beam Lapras in those kinds of situations. And then I have Shadow Machamp with counter as a quick move and Rock Slide and Cross Chop as a charge moves. Getting into this first match, we have essentially won the lead here. We do have to watch out for Rock Slide, but I called my opponent's bluff and I have shield advantage. They swap in their Dragonite and I have the perfect counter for it. I have Lapras with Ice Shark. Now, you'll see I throw the Surf right away. I could have committed to the complete farm down, but I didn't even want them to get to a charge move to even try to threaten my shields. And you'll notice I was still able to Ice Shard them down and keep all of Lapras' health. They bring him a Machamp. I get to a Surf here, and even though Machamp will be dealing super effective damage to Lapras, because I have so much health on it and the fact I have two shields, if I just want to output a bunch of Surfs, I could, but I let this Cross Chop come through. Does a good chunk, and he is going to be able to counter me down just before I get to the next Surf, unfortunately, but I still have shield advantage and I still have a Dragonite. They're going to go for a charge move here. I actually decide to let this go through. It could be a Cross Chop or a Rock Slide. I don't mind. Ends up being a Cross Chop, so I swap into Machamp because I want to farm down their Machamp. But now they swap into Lapras. I had my Shadow Machamp and two shields. They had no chance there. End up taking the first match. Machamp didn't do much, but it solidified the win. Getting into the next match of the set, we have Dragonite lead on an Obstagoon. Again, another positive lead. Obstagoon will be running counters, which will resist, and will probably be running Night Slash as a charge move, which will take neutral damage too, but Night Slash doesn't hit too hard. And then Obstagoon doesn't really want to throw off any other charge moves in this situation, whether they're running Cross Chop or Gunk Shot. They could also be running Hyper Beam, but like that would be a very Hail Mary situation, especially if they're running Obstagoon in the lead. There's a high chance their Obstagoon's running Cross Chop, if anything. They swap in the Gyarados. I match with this Lapras. Now, the one thing I've been noticing, and you really have to watch out for it on Gyarados, is a lot of them have been running Outrage, and that Outrage actually kind of lets them flip this switch scenario if you don't shield it like I just did shield it there. So that was important there because Outrage does a good chunk to Lapras, even though it's neutral and Gyarados doesn't get stabbed. It definitely hits harder than Aqua Tail, which is resisted, or even the neutral Crunch. So I was able to shield it. They're going for another charge move here. I don't expect it to be an Outrage. I don't think they could have gotten it to it too quickly. Ends up being an Aqua Tail. Does absolutely nothing. I Ice Shard down. I'm having a hard time speaking. And I have a shield disadvantage. They bring an Obstagoon here, and I unfortunately don't get the Surf off, but this Night Slash isn't going to take me out, so I will be able to get the Surf off now. This should hopefully threaten their first shield. They'll commit to a counter down to my Lapras, and then I'll just bring in Dragonite to essentially try and deal with this Obstagoon. So, continuing to try to get to the next Surf, they decide to throw their charge move. I got worried I was going to get to another Surf. This will definitely take me out. I can definitely bring in Dragonite here. Oh no, Machamp here to counter it down and give it some extra energy. That's what I did. And that was a pretty big play here because Obstagoon is dark and normal, so it's taking double super effective damage. So by the time the Machamp came in, the Obstagoon didn't even know what hit it. And then I have this Machamp on Charizard matchup here. And I threw a Rock Slide, got their shield. They're going for another charge move here. This should definitely be a Dragon Claw, so I shielded up. And the goal here is just to get to another Rock Slide, so it'll be double super effective, and will definitely one-shot their Charizard. I swapped too early though, and then I kind of realized that even though Dragonite has low health here, they still have to throw a charge move in order to take out my Dragonite. Because you saw how much the Dragon Claw did, and I was still able to Dragon Breath them down and take the second match of this set. Also, the reason why that Charizard had to throw a Dragon Claw is because Dragonite resists Charizard's quick move, so it wasn't going to be able to fire spin me down in time to essentially take out my Dragonite. Now, getting to the third match, we have a somewhat, not really a positive lead here. We have Dragonite on Poliwrath, and as much as you would think a Dragon Flying would beat a fighter, Poliwrath has access to Ice Punch, which is double super effective to Dragonite and does about 3/4 of its health. That's a lot of damage, especially considering the fact that Poliwrath doesn't get stab on it. So I threw that Dragon Claw and I'm Dragon Breathing away. I know it can't farm me down, so at this point I'm going to throw up a shield because the Mud Shots are double resisted by Dragonite, so they're going to have to throw Ice Punches to take me down. And I'm just hoping I can at least outpace them to the Dragon Claw and then get one of their shields. And if I really wanted, I could go to the 2-shield and win this by Dragon Breathing them down, or I can try and catch a charge move. I swap, catch a charge move on my Lapras. This is going to be an Ice Punch. Great play on my part. It'll be resisted by Lapras and do literally nothing to Lapras. But now the issue is they must have over-farmed, because then we CMP tied on the Surf and they're at a Dynamic Punch here, which is going to hurt my Lapras a lot. But I didn't want to be at a shield disadvantage, especially because we CMP tied, which was even worse. Now I'm throwing my energy, and I could have completely undercharged it, but that Poliwrath was at like 1 HP, so it was dying either way. So that was a very unfortunate CMP tie. I should have just let them throw a Dynamic Punch, maybe shielded it and kept all that energy. But now that I don't have it, Lapras is almost dead. They bring in Snorlax. I'm just going to spam these Surfs at their Snorlax and hope for the best here. They only need to go for like a Body Slam to take me out. I am able to get to another Surf, so they're over farming a bunch right now. I guess they're trying to build up a bunch of energy for Snorlax to finish off my Lapras and potentially finish off whatever I have in the back. So they're going for another charge move here. It's going to be a Body Slam. I'm thinking to myself, hey, I could bring in Shadow Machamp to farm this down, but again, they farmed up a bunch. This is definitely going to be another Body Slam. I know it'll do good damage to Machamp because of the fact that Shadow, and it's going to take more damage, but I knew it wasn't going to completely one-shot me, so I saved the shields. But they brought in a Togekiss, and this is where I realized, oh, 2/3 of this team is really weak to Togekiss. So that is one huge issue with the team. Dragonite and Machamp do not want to see Togekiss. Lapras is literally your only counter for it. One way I could have potentially won that last match was if I shielded the Poliwrath's Dynamic Punch and then committed in that Lapras Snorlax matchup enough to essentially get their last shield, hopefully, and then maybe Machamp's Rock Slide could have done enough damage to Togekiss late game to potentially win me that match. I'm not 100% sure. Gotta check the sim on that one, but it definitely would have been a lot closer than how that match ended up going. So, this next matchup, I have a somewhat positive lead here. Again, Dragonite, another fighter, but I have to watch out for Rock Slide, and because it's Shadow Machamp, that Rock Slide's going to hurt a lot more. I get their first shield, and I'm going to make the same play I made in the first match where I faced Machamp and not shield, but they throw the Rock Slide this time, and it ends up taking out my Dragonite. So I'm going to go into my Machamp, and I'm just going to hope I can counter it down, but they get to another charge move just in time, so I have to use my shield. I'm kind of okay with it because it puts us in an even shield situation, and at least now my Machamp has some energy on it to deal with whatever they have in the back. They counter my Machamp with Ampharos, and now I'm like, this is somewhat positive too, because Ampharos definitely doesn't want to see that. I mean, Lapras definitely doesn't want to see that Ampharos. I get their last shield, and I know whatever they throw at me, I definitely need to shield, because again, Lapras does not want to see that Ampharos, and at least Machamp has a neutral matchup against it, and my cross chops and counters are hurting it a bunch. But again, the next charge move they throw will definitely take out my Machamp, and I'm getting to the point where I'm almost in Volt Switch range, so this is definitely going to be a close one. They do go straight for the charge move though, so I'm like, alright, this is more positive than if they were able to farm me down. I'm going to have to bring in Lapras here and hope I can Ice Shard down. They bring in a Alolan Muck, and this actually benefits me. The fact that they didn't do that extra damage with Ampharos is going to allow my Lapras to get all the way to a Skull Bash, do a good chunk to their Alolan Muck. They throw a Dark Pulse there also. They should have gone for, I think, their biggest move, which was either Sludge Wave or Gunk Shot, because I'm going to throw the Skull Bash, increase my defense, so whatever they throw after this is going to do less damage. So I land that Skull Bash, gets it in the yellow. My defense is up here. And now it's just going to be a trading of moves, and I think I'm able to pull this one out. They throw the Sludge Wave now, my defense is increased, so it hurts a lot less. I'm going to end up over farming a little bit and then throwing the Surf, because I knew they were just about to get to another Dark Pulse, and I'm worried I'm not going to be able to Ice Shard down the Ampharos, so I still want to have that extra energy. So we're Ice Sharding, they're Volt Switching, and I just get to my Surf in time. I'm pretty sure they were about to get to a Thunder Punch to finish me off. The next Volt Switch definitely would have, and I'm able to take this third match. I'm trying to think of how much Machamp did there. Actually, Machamp did a pretty good job. It handled that Ampharos for the most part and finished off their own Machamp, so that was a positive of it, but Lapras definitely clutched endgame. My back line was able to clutch up that last match. Getting into this next match, we'll see what it's able to do, but we run into a Pokemon that's a big weakness to my backline. So we have a Dragonite on Magnezone lead here, and I don't see this as being a very positive lead for me. As much as Dragonite is taking neutral damage from all the electric moves from Magnezone because of Dragonite's Dragon typing, all of its moves are being resisted because Magnezone has that Steel typing. So they're over farming a bunch, and I'm pretty much okay with it. My Dragon Claw landed, I got them in the red. I'm going for another Dragon Claw here, so this is going to essentially force their shield, which it does. And now my Dragonite's already served its purpose, so I don't even shield. I'm cool with them wild charging me. They decide to throw a Mirror Shot there, and I'm like, alright, be my guest. They go for another charge move here, and I'm like, alright, you wanna wild charge me now? I have no intentions of committing to win this lead matchup, and they decide to Mirror Shot me twice, because again, like I said, my Dragonite did its job, and I have Machamp in the back, so whatever's left of that Magnezone, I would love to bring in Machamp to just farm it down. So I let them Mirror Shot me 3 times to win lead. At that point, I probably could have shielded in one lead, but I was still okay with just taking shield advantage here. And now they bring in my backline's biggest weakness, Gallade, and it's a Shadow at that. The reason why it's such a weakness is because Machamp is going to take super effective from the Confusion quick move, and then Lapras will take super effective from either charge move, whether it be Leaf Blade or close combat. So having that shield advantage in this match and playing it out the way I did was extremely important in the outcome of this match. So then they counter my Lapras switching with a Venusaur, and I'm like, ooh, this is not a positive situation for me. I build up all the way to a Skull Bash, and I'm really hoping this will go unshielded. They'll most likely keep their shield because they want it for their Shadow Gallade in the back. They don't shield, and then the Venusaur is trying to get to its next charge move, but I'm able to Ice Shard it down just in time, playing it really close. I get to another Surf, their Gallade comes in. This shouldn't take out the Gallade, but it'll do enough damage that should force a last shield. It does, and I'm just hoping I can continue to Ice Shard and maybe get to the Surf in case they make a mistake. They didn't. And they're going for their charge move. There should be a Leaf Blade to be playing to take out my Lapras. But again, bringing in Machamp in the beginning to farm up extra energy was huge. I survived that one Confusion. I go for the Rock Slide because I'm not going to get the 2 Cross Chops, and this will do the most damage, even though it's resisted, and it takes out the remaining health of the Shadow Gallade, and I was able to clutch that 5th match of the set. I feel like I said that a lot, but you know, I feel like when you're using a Shadow Pokemon, a lot of these wins just seem so right in the moment, super clutch. As a Pokemon in Ultra Premier Cup, I would definitely recommend Shadow Machamp. Now this team of 3, I'm not so sure I recommend because it has multiple double weaknesses. Gallade was a double weakness because Lapras and Machamp are both weak to it, and then Togekiss was also a double weakness because of Dragonite and Machamp both being weak to it. Now, at the same time, every team definitely has its weaknesses, and at least Lapras could counter that Togekiss, and Dragonite could counter that Gallade, but at the end of the day, that's up to you. Let me know what you guys thought of the team. Again, if there are any spice picks you want me to try out, let me know in the comment section. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video.